Hey guys.
Hey guys, welcome to the 10th Realm. I'm Sean, co-host for this week, and with me today on my right I have Jake.
Hey guys.
And Kevin.
Hey guys.
And John. We thought we'd switch it up a little bit, and I would take over this week and give John a chance to answer some of the questions that I've come up with and our discussions that I've created. As usual, we will be giving out a hardcover core rulebook and the General's Handbook 2018 next show. So this show will be your last chance to comment, like, and subscribe.
Jump on that real quick. We're actually doing a little bit of a change for that.
Oh yeah.
Because we put out so few videos this month, we're going to roll it into next month. So it'll be every video this month and next month, and then it'll be August.
The first
Saturday in August, we'll do a giveaway for June and July, because we're also going to be giving away an additional 2 copies of the core rulebook, as well as a painted set of the endless spells. We're going to be giving away 1 of each spell to a different person. So if we have 14 people comment, then I think there's 12 endless spells.
I think so. Yep.
Then 12 of the 14 can be eligible for that, as long as you are subscribing and commenting to the channel.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Those are going to be
guys.
Painted by our very own Amanda, right?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah,
Sounds
she's
good.
did a great job in that.
And as usual, Chaos Orc Superstore, our sponsor, is going to be supplying us with some of that stuff to send out to you guys, so make sure you check them out. They have a whole bunch of nice range of selections for a bunch of different game systems. They are on the East Coast, but they do ship pretty much anywhere.
Yep, they ship
So
internationally.
thanks to them for backing us here on the channel.
Make sure to include that the 10th Realm sent you, and it really helps us out as well.
Yep, it helps
General
us
comments.
get more stuff. And then we should have been plugging this beforehand, but when in doubt, buy from your local store. If they don't have something in stock, or you need something in 2 days and you can't wait for the delivery times, then check out Chaos Orc. But
Yep.
when in doubt, try to help out your local game stores.
Exactly, because they're the ones that you guys are playing at, and they're supplying tables and terrain for.
Yep.
Okay, next thing is we don't really do a community thing this week, but I did want to give a shout out to, it's on the Play Store for Android. I'm not sure if it's on the Apple Store. It's called Age of Sigmar Terrain Generator. It's really simple, but it's awesome. Basically, you can pick for skirmish-sized battlefields, 4x4 battlefields, or 6x4 battlefields, and it generates between 0 and 3 pieces of terrain in each 2x2 square, and it tells you what mysterious terrain it is. So it's completely random every time you generate it. I suggest you guys check it out. It's going to be really useful. And with the new dice coming out with Age of Sigmar 2nd Edition, you'll be able to easily track it on the tabletop. It kind of just makes it easier instead of rolling for everything or picking, with your opponent.
Yeah, Sean's been raving about it all week
Oh, yeah.
to
It's
us all.
awesome.
It's
It's
pretty awesome.
Okay, so after last week, we kind of went over our hobby goals, and I figured we'd touch upon that. We'll start with Kevin. Kevin, what did you get done this week? I know you talked a little about Daughters of Cain and
Yeah,
forward with
so I had recently bought another pack of another box of Blood Sisters, so I got them put together this week. I also primed my Nighthaunt for the Start Collecting Box Wars, and I'm super hyped to prime and paint my daughters as well. Found a new love for them this week.
Good,
So-
good. Going over some of the stuff that I asked.
Yeah, so
Sounds good.
I think that's pretty cool.
And what's your goals for the next week?
So next week, again, I'm going to try and get the majority of my Nighthaunt painted, if not all of them, for the Starter Box Wars.
Ooh,
And
okay.
I am looking to get all of the Blood Sisters painted as well. So,
Okay.
I mean, there's only 5 Blood Sisters, but big expectations.
Okay. Are you going to go blue or green with the new technical paints coming out?
Oh, totally blue. Oh my god. Nighthaunt Gloom is just so awesome.
Sounds good.
So hot right
It's
now.
oddly did you guys watch the Duncan video on it?
Yeah.
Because it's
I
like,
did know.
it's in between a wash and an actual paint. It's like weirdly thick. So,
It's-
because they're using on not the ghosty part, but the cloth part of the ghost, and it looks like it goes on really thick. So I don't know. I haven't gotten a chance to play with
I
it.
don't.
That'd be
I don't think
interesting
it's
to see.
actually supposed to be like a a glow effect. I think it's actually supposed to be more like
yeah,
the cloth.
I don't think it's a wash. I think it's labeled as a technical paint.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's technical.
Yeah, it's weird. And then, Sean, if you want to, Kevin already talked about it, but you want to remind everybody about the Start Collecting boxes and what we're going to be doing with that and why that's
Yes.
important?
Moving forward, we're going to be putting out at least a battle report a week, hopefully a couple. And we have all kind of collected the majority of the Start Collecting boxes, and we're going to do Start Collecting battles where we just play with whatever in the box against each other. We're going to do it on a 4x4 table, and just what's in the Start Collecting box, whether it's legal or not, via match play, and we'll see how that goes in terms of matching them up. And the plan is kind of to do a bracketed style setup, so that as we play, the losers get knocked out. Not necessarily that you won't see them playing again, but they will come back with a different Start Collecting until we get down to the 2 top Start Collecting boxes to play for the win.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, the Soul Wars box.
Yep, Kevin
We're gonna-
suggested this, and it was a really good idea.
So what I suggested was that we're all at least picking up one. So we do the contents of the Soul Wars box versus each other. And I think that would be a really fun matchup, seeing what comes inside the box, seeing how they play well against each other, and pretty much going from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I was checking a few other people out, and I think that the points in the box were roughly about 1,000 for match play, and that it's pretty close either way too. It really looks like a lot of fun to play from some of the early
Sounds good.
stuff.
So that'll be a good plan.
Yeah.
And then we are going to do, of course, getting kind of off track of our little hobby segment, we are going to do a Gathering of Might game of just the starter box content. So it'll be just Sacrosanct and Nighthaunt in the Gathering of Might apocalypse, so to speak, scale. So hopefully we'll have it all painted up, and that'll be fun to put out. And we'll probably record it a little differently because I'm sure it'll take quite a bit longer. So make sure you keep an eye out for all of that content
Are
coming
we
out.
going to have all 4 of us in that battle?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's going to
Yeah.
be, I assume, me and you and Kevin and John.
Yep.
Yeah.
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 Well,
And-
what's Amanda? Oh, we're other
I
people
think
are
she's
coming
doing
too?
Sacrosanct, right?
Yeah. Maybe
And
it's
Kevin
really
has enough
Sacrosanct.
boxes that it's going to be.
Oh, okay, so we're
Even,
gonna
yeah.
have,
Wow.
Me and John are about picking up the same,
Okay.
roughly.
All right.
Yeah. So that's the plan.
Yeah.
How about you, Jake? What's
For my hobby
Your hobby
stuff, this week, I really haven't had much. Ever since travel, I'm kind of just slowing it down, taking a break.
I hear ya.
I honestly started playing video games again, and I've been playing Final Fantasy 15. It feels like a
Okay.
guilty pleasure, even though it was a really crappily reviewed game. But today I got some transfer sheets onto some of my Liberators, and I've been painting up a little bit of like a Gryph-hound rider. I've been trying to take my time with him and try to really actually do it nice and everything like that. So
Awesome.
that's what I've been
a
doing. This
little
week.
bit of progress is better than no progress?
Yeah.
How about you, John? Hobby progress?
Unfortunately, no. I've been unpacking mostly this week. I've been trying to get one of the green skin Start Collecting box, not the Iron Jaws. This old, gross green skin box done.
Scoliosis orcs.
Yeah, pretty much. And then just kind of waiting for Soul Wars to come out because I'm pretty hyped about that. And then looking at all the community stuff. The new Nighthaunt heroes are
Oh my god, they're
Yeah.
beautiful.
yeah.
Yes,
like
they are.
I
Oh
am.
my God.
I'm not.
One of each.
I'm not really sold on their power level yet, but they look. Yeah, they're definitely one of each for sure. And then I know that there was a lot of disappointment going out that it wasn't Isabella, Cetra, and Balthazar Gelt, which was the rumors because Balthazar Gelt, he's on the wall over there. The gold mask used to used to ride around on a Pegasus, and then Isabella is Vlad's wife,
Yeah.
and related to Manfred, and so she could have been the Mortarch of Grief because that's connections. And then and then Cetra was going to be the king on the little
That would've
thing
been cool.
because that
His
was his
throne.
whole thing. He was the king
Yeah.
beforehand, and I know that they just kind of came up with their own names for everything. I know a lot of people were complaining about that, but You know, you gotta let go of the past. We know
It's true.
we are 100% confirmed that Bretonians and Tomb Kings aren't getting match play points this time. So they're
Right.
they're done.
That's sad.
We're open
Moving
playing
on.
narrative play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and the Stormcast heroes, the
yeah.
well, they're Arcanum, Lord Arcanums, right?
Yeah,
Is there
both of them
actual
are
thing?
Lord Arcanums, but there's
There are
two
two
different
mounts.
named ones.
the mole dog and the goat dragon.
Yeah, what they're saying.
Dragon.
I actually haven't learned their names yet either, but they both
Yeah.
look.
Mole dog, goat dragon.
Bulldog.
We're not gonna call them Bulldog and Gold Dragon. I
Bulldog,
swear I
Gold
will
Dragon.
not. I had to break the whole. Oh look, because I played Space Marines when AOS came out. It was like, oh look, Sigmarines. I'm like, I had to break it. I'm gonna break it here too, right now at the start. I'm not calling them that.
Mordrak the Grief is going to lift up her veil and stare at your goat dragon.
Oh, and it's gonna fail its roll, so I don't take any damage, and I'm just gonna look at her ugly face. I need to- I
Maybe
need
she
to-
has a pretty face.
I need the picture that
No.
Kevin sent us earlier with the dragon, just the goat dragon breathing lightning in with the eyes. That's his look.
We'll post
Those little
links
googly eyes.
links in the comments below, guys, or the description below, so you can go to the Warhammer community page and check out the models firsthand.
Oh, yeah, that's-
And read their
that's
rules,
totally
because
be behind us.
all of their rules, their war scrolls are already spoiled on those pages.
Posted, so
Yeah,
that's
so-
exciting.
It's pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm. Okay, does anyone else have anything else to add?
No.
No.
Okay, so
Those questions.
this week, instead of kind of discussions, I actually kind of came up with topics that each person picked a different battle tome and read up on some fluff and came up with kind of some interesting lists that they thought would work well with the battle tome. Not necessarily competitive, just what they think's kind of wonky or different. And each person chose a book that they're not very familiar with, just to kind of help them get familiar with something new, do a little bit of reading. So for the first topic is that I've asked them to create a list that's fun, fluffy, or creative. And they're going to share with you guys which book they have chosen, the fluff that they've chosen from the book, which is kind of like their lore that they're going to talk about or read off from. And then we're going to go over the list that they've designed that they think is wacky, what they think it's going to accomplish on the table, and then we'll kind of just talk about each other's list, and then we'll move to the next question. So to start off, I guess we'll start off with John on the end down there.
Oh, okay. So I picked the Deacon because I think their models are wonderful, and primarily I have an affinity for the Alopexes, and so my list revolves around Alopexes.
Awesome.
I picked the Bromidar Enclave, which lets your Soul Scryers take 3 friends with them when they redeploy on your movement phase, as opposed to just 2. And so the list is 3 Soul Scryers, which are going to be taking 3 friends each, and an Achillean King, not Voltarnus, and I'll explain why later on. Michelin Guard, the fighty ones. And then it's a unit of 2 Alopexes, another unit of 2 Alopexes, another unit of 2 Alopexes, and then a solo Alopex. So 7 sharks are in my list, and then 9 eels, and then the heroes. And the reason why I picked the Achillean King over Volturnus is so that I'm at 1940 instead of 1960, and that way I get a command point on turn 1. When I was asked to come up with this question, this was the first thing I thought of, and the only reason I thought of it was because how great would it be to have 7 sharks running at you turn 1?
I'm hearing the Jaws music playing here in my head.
You come on with the Soul Scryers. The Soul Scryer picks some units. You get +3 to your charge range on your sharks, and then with the Bromidar Enclave, you get to set them up 18 inches instead of 12. So your sharks get that extra 6 inches closer to your friends, and by friends I mean the opponents, and you get to go in there and eat them. And then you're getting the Echelon Guard because they just do a ton of damage output. Silly pants damage output on the charge. And so since you're coming in from a table edge and you're coming on hopefully to attack squishier, more targets that you can pick a little bit easier, the Echelon or the Achillean Guard are going to get in there. The thing that really set the army apart for me, though, and why I actually kind of want to play it at some point, is each Alopex gets 13 attacks. With the king next to them using his command ability on High Tide, they get to add 1 to each of their attacks profile, right?
Yeah, I think
on
it's.
turn 3.
I'm not. Well, it's you add 1 attack. I don't know if it's to each.
Okay, so
Profile.
So then I guess you could pick it, and you're going to pick the jaws, so you can get that 3 damage bite in. And then his reroll ones is a little bit shorter range for Achillean units, but I think having the command point is way more beneficial to the army and being able to protect yourself with the reactive bravery check, because I am doubling up the Alapexes to be able to take all of them on the edge of the table. And with bravery 6, they're going to run away if one of them dies, and that would just be devastating. You're just throwing away a guy, and you get an unlucky dice roll. So being able to have that reactive, don't want to even take the risk. But yeah, with 3 shots each at range, you're pumping out 21 shots, hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s. They're only 1 damage and no rend, but still that's shots. And then you're getting 10 attacks in close combat with the riders and the shark, and one of those attacks is 3 damage. So I thought that would just be a lot of fun if for no other reason than just see your opponent looking at your army from across the table, and you have all your stuff in your box, be like, I'm not deploying anything, and then your turn 1 movement phase, boom, sharks in your backfield.
Definitely.
So mean. I'm scared.
And what kind of fluff did you pick out or want to talk about quick?
Well, the fluff that I picked out was, again, I'm absolutely in love with the Alapex, and their brief mention in the book here.
Okay.
I'm just going to read it verbatim.
What? Okay.
Yep. And just their description of how they're just spectral blurs in the Aether Sea. They're distant, streamlined shapes that seem to materialize out of nowhere and disappear just as fast. With a powerful thrust of their sickle-finned tails, and the forms grow all too quickly as they launch into their attack. And they're actually, the sharks are so totally bloodthirsty in the fluff that they have to carve the runes onto the side of their faces so that the guys on the back can actually have a chance of steering them, and even that doesn't always work. They basically just, as soon as they realize that there's prey nearby, they're just gonna go eat it. And that just, I love Jaws. I think Jaws is probably in my top 3 favorite movies of all time. So having an entire army of Jaws is just, it's
Awesome.
Yeah, and especially, like, I just want to do it right, because all the sequels where they brought in more sharks just are so bad. I don't like it. But the fluff for the sharks is great. I think the actual sharks are undervalued competitively. I think this is a little bit of a really far extreme case where, 7 is too many to make them competitive, but I think that I would have fun in all 5 of my games if I came to the table with 7 sharks. So.
Definitely. And one thing to consider, since now we're kind of in the discussion phase of the list, is that if you did bring Volturnus, that first turn, if you aren't on the table, you would have protection, so you would immediately get 1 in your first hero phase. Or no, because you'd miss it, right? Because you come in at the end of the movement phase. No, yeah, so you definitely want 1 point at the beginning.
I think Sean said it best. Well, we've all been talking about second edition quite a lot, and I think Sean was the first one to say how important having command points at the beginning of the game is going to be, and I think 100%.
Yeah,
you're right.
To help block the Alpha Strike.
Yeah, the more that I think about it, just having something that's notoriously like first turn in your face damage. I don't know. We'll say the bolt thrower. Well, yeah, sure. or the bolt thrower from Stormcast. If you get a couple of those bolt throwers shot at your 30-man thrall unit, they're going to kill like half of them, because those bolt throwers are absolutely absurd. So
there's going to be 3 of them in almost every
and
list.
especially with the Lord Ordinator behind it, getting them the rerolls and letting it shoot again. Like,
there might even be at least 2.
Yeah. So being able to protect yourself from that just catastrophic battle shock that's just, oh, my unit's gone, versus at least my unit's half strength still,
right,
I think is super important. Maybe not so much for this list because it's basically just 7 monsters and a hero, but and then I think, that's the next question. Never mind. Yep.
Okay, sounds good. And to clarify too, where we're talking about first turns, of course, this is coming out on Saturday, so the second edition came out today. But this past Wednesday, they released this FAQs, like 20 or 25 FAQs for almost all the battle tomes, the alliances, and they did a designer's commentary. And there's a lot of talk online about the way taking the first turn is phrased. And a lot of people are saying that whoever finishes setting up first doesn't necessarily go first. You only go first if then you roll and you tie, and then it's whoever finished setting up. In the FAQ, and I'm pretty sure it's the designer's commentary, they did clarify if you finish setting up first, just like in the original game, you do dictate who goes first. So
And that's for
no
match
more
play?
question. That's the core rules.
Okay.
Yep. So when you're going back and forth, if you finish deploying first, you pick.
Okay.
Yep.
Just like normal.
Yeah, so that's
Okay.
even another benefit for this army is I can pass first turn to them, try to get the double turn of sharks eating your face. So
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. I guess we'll go with Jake.
Okay.
Next, which book did you choose?
So-
Your wacky list and a little bit of fluff.
So I ended up doing Blades of Corn. I discussed it a little bit a few times. It's probably going to be the starter box that I'm going to be playing with in our little tournament. They caught my eye. It was like really the only other thing out of like everything in AOS that was like, okay, all right, these guys are kind of cool, and plus they're my main enemies as Stormcast. So well, from the first couple books, so I was like, all right, what better way to change complete focus than play them? So I decided to take a look at them, and so my list is like a Korgus cool, like Gore Tide, like command thing, like true Gore Tide. Like you have all 8 heroes, and like every hero has their own role and everything like that. And then you just take a bunch of the infantry guys and you just throw them at your enemy. So I thought that would have been pretty cool. I think Korgus cool. He's actually my topic for my fluff. He's super cool. Like.
And he's the model that comes in the original Age of Sigmar starter set.
Yeah, and you
with the
can
corn dog.
Yeah, he was the first. He was the.
I get yelled at for calling him a goat dragon, but corn dog's acceptable.
It's not, but I'm just gonna let it float because
Corn dog, corn or corn dog, like a little bit of mustard corn dog.
We got it.
We get it. I was just gonna kind of slide over it and just let it go, but we. So back on topic. Yeah, he's the character that comes in the starter set. And he didn't actually have a war scroll until like I think earlier this year. Like it was a Lord of it was just
Mighty
normal Mighty Lord
Corn.
of Corn was his thing. And then he got his own like war scroll, and he's actually
Vandus?
yeah
They
with
did it
like
at the same
Vandus
time.
Hammerhand and everything like that. I thought that dynamic in the book was pretty cool. But so he allows me to like pick 3 units, and I add. I think it's pretty much the same thing as the other the Mighty Lord of Corn too, which is actually kind of surprising. I think he's just got a better like stat line.
Okay.
I think off the top of my head. But so with his command ability, I'm going to be able to pick 3 units and stuff like that. Make them run at you with 3 dice instead of 2 and stuff
Okay.
like that. So my stuff's coming across the table pretty fast. So I thought that like idea of just having a bunch of bodies just running at someone
Bunch
with all
of Blood
these
Reavers.
yeah, with all these cool heroes like leading the charge and fighting in close combat. Instead of having your heroes like protected, you just throw them at everyone and like see if they go down, they go down because Corn cares not where the blood flows as long as it flows.
Yep.
So
Yep.
but so onto the topic of the fluff. Korgus Cool is 100% badass. Like he's about to become a demon in the fluff. Like he's almost there. The whole point of the Corn's motivation for all these people is they become like his chosen and they become demons and everything like that, and stand by his side and fight with him. So Korgus Cool is pretty far along down that path. So
Been doing work in the mortal realm.
yeah, if you guys have read the first book, he is the main bad guy.
That's the Realm Gate Wars.
The Realm Gate War book. He's the main bad guy, and he I think it's literally the first time the Stormcast drop. He's already there. He's fighting, and he's like, "Oh look, there's tiny people to fight now. Now we can fight them." So, and he's made this giant skull pyramid, and he just has been looking for like the optimal skull to put on top of it
The most worthy
yeah
foe.
the most worthy foe to put it on top and crown his trophy or his achievement and please Corn to become a demon. So he's pretty awesome. And a lot of it's from the books that I've read. He does have a section in the Bloodbound book or Blades of Corn book. Yeah, and he his section is more about what his army is consistent of and like what it's got. Like he's got one Kog'Maw that they like, or Kog'Rath that they really take care of, and that follows them around, I guess. And then there's he's got his right hand man. I can't think of his name. Hang on, but he's got his Blood Secretor guy, and he's pretty cool.
So it kind of follows the starter set.
Yeah, the starter set has like everyone, and each one of his guys that are his Gore Chosen have a specific name. So they're all right here, but I guess I won't read them off. But you guys can check it out in the book.
Yeah, do you have a page number for?
It's page 74 is where his section starts, where it talks about all of his whole army and how he's got all this cool stuff. So, but I thought it was pretty cool, and I'm excited to see just guys run
Tons of
across the
bodies
table
running across.
and die.
So
Sounds
the old 2-player starter set is on the limited time run
Is it?
on the website now.
Ooh. Well, luckily, I know he did come out with a dual pack of the Blood Secretor and the Mighty Lord of Khorne from the
Yeah.
starter set.
But the Kog'Maw still doesn't have a kit, right?
Oh, it doesn't?
No.
No, I don't. I think you're right.
I think the only way you
Not
could
sure.
get that is from the 2-player box set.
So-
No, I think there was a 2-pack that came out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but the 2-pack. What was the? Oh wait, the 2-pack came out with the Kog'Rath and the Bloodstoker.
Okay.
Yep.
You're
So
right.
Because
yeah.
the Bloodstoker was the other one that you couldn't get. He's the guy with the whips.
Because I haven't seen that anywhere, and I was like, does this mean that we're going to get another
Okay.
Khorne release
Yeah.
if they're going to just be pulling the models? Because
But to be honest, if I was going to get a Kog'Rath, we all know that you just go with the Forge World one,
The big guy?
the big guy.
The great
Oh, the
Scar,
name-
the
the
great
Scar
Kog'Rath.
name one. He's so cool.
Yeah, his model is really sweet.
It's huge too.
He can be the next model that we review. Forge World model we review.
Ooh.
That would be exciting.
Next week we can. Next week.
All right.
Touch on him.
Yes.
Sounds good. So that's your list. That's
Yep.
some fluff.
Yeah. Pretty
Anything
much.
else?
No.
You guys want to comment? A doggy list could be cool with him.
Oh
A
yeah.
He has his
doggy
own little
list
personal
Could be cool.
dog. You could take Karanak and a bunch of.
I was thinking of it more from a
Riptooths, yeah.
fluffy point of perspective, but yeah, like having him, Riptooth, and a bunch of the 3-headed one,
Karanak.
Karanak, yeah.
Yep.
So having those 3 as like your HQs would be pretty cool, and then taking a bunch of blood, what are they, bloodhounds, whatever they are.
They're
Don't call them.
the Fleshhounds.
Fleshhounds,
yes,
yeah.
thank you.
So
Fleshhounds.
on Karanak's War Scroll,
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and this hasn't been FAQ'd yet, as far as I'm aware of.
Oh.
Because there's a whole new FAQ.
I know what you're talking about.
Karanak's, he can bring a pack of his friends onto the table for free. If you select a hero and say that that hero is his hunt target for the game. And it doesn't say enemy hero on it.
Nope. not
So
anymore.
a lot of people are saying that if you take Karanak, you can pick your own hero to be the hunted, set it up, and turn 1 you get an 8-man Fleshhound pack for free because you don't have to walk across the table to get in range.
Yep, that's right here. Once per game, if Karanak is within 8 inches of his quarry during the hero phase, you can set up a unit of Fleshhounds anywhere within 8 inches of Karanak.
Right.
so
So
now that you don't have to pay points.
right, you just get a free unit
Free
of
summoning.
Fleshhounds within 8 inches that you can get on turn 1 as opposed to at best the top of turn 2.
So Karanak,
Yeah.
as an old model who was already doing well in corn lists,
Oh yeah.
is now even more probably popular.
Yeah. If I did a corn army, it would exclusively be Fleshhounds.
So you could call the list corn dogs.
Stop. Just stop. They're
You could
Fleshhounds.
paint them yellow. Or their like back spines would be yellow.
Yeah, they're breaded.
I'm glad you're giving him a scowl as much as I am
Yeah.
about this.
You've got to flock them.
Because I mean, like, yeah. So
You gotta look breaded.
So that'd be cool. And I don't remember, did we clarify Magor's Fiends if you can take just the dog?
Yes.
Yes,
he
you
can.
can. He's got his own war
Yeah,
scroll.
So he
points.
could
He's
he
40
could-
points.
It is
come along and be a free unbind.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
It's pretty exciting.
Okay, so moving on. Kevin,
Great.
your book and your list and your fluff, and then we'll go to the next topic.
So I'm
Keep
just
it
going to
moving.
quickly summarize my fluff. But
Yeah, that
my
works.
list is I brought the book Daughters of Cain.
Okay.
And my list is the sub faction is Krath, and it's Marathi, a Slaughter Queen on Cauldron, a Bloodrack Medusa, 10 Blood Sisters, 30 Witch Elves, another 30 Witch Elves, 10 Canary Heartrenders, and 1 Hag Queen. The Cauldron has to have the artifact of that sub-faction, so it is the Venom of Nagendra.
Sounds
Sure.
good to me.
Yep, close enough.
The Bloodrack Medusa has the command trait Zealous Ordinator. She is also my general, which makes the Blood Sisters battle line.
Okay.
The Hag Queen has Catechism of Murder. The Cauldron has Sacrament of Blood, and those are both their prayers. The Bloodrack Medusa is a wizard, so she has Mind Razor. And Marathi, in addition to her spells, knows Shroud of Despair. So I really created this list, A, from the fluff that I read, but B, I really wanted to mess around with bravery.
Okay.
And when we go into the second part, you'll see why I mess around with a lot of bravery and stuff like that. But for now, I'll just read, I'll touch upon the main parts, which my favorite one, fluff for the book, is Elf Souls and Empires.
Okay.
And so basically the story is about Teclis, Tyrion, and Malarian asking Marathi for help because they know that she had been imprisoned in Slaanesh, and they're trying to capture Slaanesh and get these souls out of Slaanesh, the elf souls out of Slaanesh. And she agrees to tell them about how she was imprisoned and how she escaped in exchange for souls that she can reform into her own.
Okay.
In earlier fluff, she was described as being alone in a realm by herself, no creatures that looked like her. So they end up getting Slaanesh, they capture Slaanesh, and they start harvesting souls out of him. And she does get her souls to reform into her own. And using her shadow magic, she creates the Malusai and Canary units,
Okay.
which look pretty much like her.
Yep.
And
Wings,
what I
things.
really thought about this actual fluff, the cool part is, here, I'll read this one verbatim because I forget how it goes. Teclis's first enclave, the Iadith, proved a disappointment, fleeing all contact with God or mortal and disappearing. Several monstrous creatures emerged from shadows of Drucharoth and were quickly covered up by Malarian. For Marathi, those spirits too weak or damaged to accept full reconstitution were destined to become Lethanim, an elven word for half-soul. Little more than slaves, these drones formed a male working class that served the she-elves of Canite cults. So basically, instead of becoming, like thralls are not full souls, she just made a working class out of them. And you're our slaves, you build all our temples and everything like that. So I thought that was really cool.
There you go, ladies.
Yeah,
They're all
that's
males too,
interesting.
so the ladies ruled in that society.
Yep.
Get some beefed up elf mans with some collars on.
Yep.
Go work for Marathi. She'll hook you up.
Yeah.
We like our slaves with half a soul and well oiled.
Okay. So that's pretty much it. We'll
Yeah.
touch upon your list in terms of what you wanted to do, because you probably tied it in with your second topic, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
didn't know.
No, you didn't.
I did
I want
not.
to jump in here real quick.
Sure.
Since everybody at this table has been difficulty pronouncing, GW isn't watching this video, but if anybody knows somebody at GW, I know that there's at least 2 people that watch our show that know people at GW. They should do how to pronounce stuff videos. Get Peachy
my
and Duncan and the new girl who's doing the how to play from Board Game Geek or wherever she's from. I don't-
Geek
I
and
don't remember.
Sundry. I
Yeah,
think
sure.
it is.
And like Phil Kelly and all these people, and just have them sit down in front of a camera, put the word up on the screen, and have them say it the way that GW wants us to say it. Because
That'd be amazing.
That'd be great.
amazing.
Yeah.
that would be so helpful.
Names in the mortal realms.
Exactly.
GW
It's
is
like
how
someone
to
says it,
pronounce.
and then the next
Right.
name it's someone else different
Right.
sitting in the chair.
Trademarked.
Do it. Do it like Sesame Street. Like shh.
Yes.
You know.
Break it up on screen.
Azir.
That would work. That would work.
You could
Definitely.
even get fun with it. Have like little puppets of Stormcasts.
That would be fantastic. That really,
Like that, I would watch that show all the time.
that'd be great. Could be a part of the
Oh,
Stormcast.
what if you did
podcast.
like it was
I would actually
set?
watch the Stormcast podcast then.
Yeah.
What if you did it like set like but in the Age of Myth with all of the gods just sitting at a table as puppets, and they were like, so
Pronouncing each other.
Nagash,
Yeah,
how do
it's
you
a
pronounce
puppet
your
show."
realm?
That would be fun drama. That would be terrific. That needs to happen. I'm gonna
That
send
would
you
get a lot of
an
hits.
email. I'm gonna be like,
Something
Watch our
with
podcast.
yeah, this
Here's our
this needs to
suggestion.
happen.
something with Sean's emails.
Yeah.
Oh,
Without auto cannons and dual
Yeah,
auto
yeah.
cannons not getting cheaper. Sad face.
Yeah,
Yep.
your
Okay.
playing list doesn't work in 40K anymore.
No, I know. Well, it half works. Okay, so moving forward, second topic, and I'm calling it the combo breaker segment. I wasn't gonna do it, but
You did it.
we like to have fun on this show.
It's spelled out on the paper. Like,
Yeah,
It did, literally
It's
is.
literally spelled out.
Okay, so basically, using the chosen battle tome that everyone's brought, they're going to tell the audience of a neat stacking of buffs that their book can pull off. Because in the second edition of Sigmar, if you have enough command points, you can use multiple command traits. So for this, it's going to be on turn 3 is the stipulation. So you'll have 3 command points. They get to choose any unit from the book, and moving forward with this list that they came up with, it's 2,000 points working with. So they in those 2,000 points, it has to be a legal 2,000 points, at least 3 units, and the unit they're going to buff or units that they're going to buff. So we're not going to go over the whole list they've come up with, just the main unit and the 3 heroes. And they're going to tell us how the 3 buffs are going to affect the unit they've chosen, what they think it's going to do. Oh, did you do a little different?
I did, but go ahead.
Okay, that's okay. And we're going to do this in a nutshell. So basically, when this all happens, we're going to assume that the 3 heroes are all alive and the unit they picked is at full strength.
And are we going to assume that chance is on your side as well?
Uh,
So if
I
you
mean,
need
the-
to roll a certain number, you're going to assume that you roll it.
I mean,
or
yeah, that's
we'll go over that when we get to your thing.
okay.
So, starting off, and again, guys, feel free to comment below with a combo you've come up with. Moving forward with Age of Sigmar 2, I think this is going to be a lot more prevalent with stacking command traits or buffs on units on specific turns and saving those command points because they carry from turn to turn. So comment below with your 3 heroes, characters, and your unit that you would want to buff, and we'll take a look at it. So we'll start off with Jake going
Okay.
first. Tell us what you got.
So I have 2 aspiring Deathbringers, Korgus Cool, and 30 Blood Warriors.
Okay.
So this is kind of just like first turn charge. I'm gonna go at you with all my strength and not slow down and just keep going at you. So aspiring Deathbringers have a command ability that allows them to add +1 attack. It's called Slaughter Incarnate, and it adds +1 attack to a Mortal Khorne unit that is within 6 inches of the model. I mean, like I said before, I'm going to charge my heroes up with my guys
Yeah.
and fight with them in
So on
front.
turn
probably.
3, they'll be up there with them.
I mean, Korgus Cool will probably be able to get them across the table.
Okay.
So I think he adds 3 to his So Korgus Cool allows you to pick himself and 3 other Mortal Khorne units in the around him. I think it's for 12 inches. Let me see if I can find him. Oh wait, he's not actually in the book. He's his own on the War Scroll. So we have this.
Okay.
So the Mighty Lord of Khorne is the same thing. So you're going to use the ability, pick 3 Mortal Khorne units and within 24 inches. And until the next hero phase, they roll 3 dice instead of 2 for charges. And you pick the 2 that you want, the 2 highest rolls that you want to determine the roll.
Okay.
Obviously, you would choose the highest regardless, but even if it didn't say that. So Blood Warriors, this is when it gets a little bit interesting, because I feel like everyone would take their shields instead of 2 Gore Axes, because 2 Goraxes allows you to reroll 1s to hit, which is still pretty good. But I mean, I kind of like a little bit more safety, which is cool. I think
And mortal wounds.
Yeah, more
That-
safety and mortal wounds. When they don't have 2 Goraxes and they have a Gore Fist instead, they get on a 6. They deal a mortal to their save. They deal a mortal wound back to the target that's attacking them. So their profile for Goraxes is 2 attacks, 3s and 4s, no rend, 1 damage. So when you have 2 Aspiring Deathbringers, since the abilities in Khorne apparently just stack innately right now.
Yeah,
with-
we haven't seen General's Handbook. So from what I've read, though, all the rules of 1 have been carried into the core rules, so it specifically says where things can or can't stack.
Mm-hmm.
And the FAQ that came out today kind of went along with that. So for this, we'll just assume that the command traits, because I think even in the core rules it specifically says if you have the command points for it, you can do them multiple times.
Yep.
So we'll assume that
that
you
it
can-
just can use it. So
Yeah.
that's
As far as I'm aware, what we've seen so far is that unless it specifically says you have to be the general to use this, or it has a subtext, this can only be used once per turn. And
Then you're good.
Maggotkin actually got FAQ today, and I looked at that. And the dude on the horse, the guy with the axe or the rot belly, their command abilities can only be used once per turn,
Okay.
regardless of the number of heroes you have. So unless it specifically changes it somewhere, you can stack the buffs as many times as you want.
okay. So yeah, read verbatim from the book right now as it is. If this model for the Slaughter Incarnate ability on the Aspiring Deathbringers, if this model chooses this ability, then until your next hero phase, add 1 to the attack characteristics of all melee weapons used by Mortal Khorne units in your army while they are within 6 inches of this model. So I can take 2 of those guys and stack the buff and use it as like a circle, 2 circles, and they both affect each other, and then the big unit of 30 guys. So I thought it was pretty cool to have 4 attacks.
a big blender.
Yeah, big blender charging
3d6, picking the highest.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully getting across the table on that lucky charge turn 1, but you never know. You could miss it and probably miss it.
Well, yeah, because you would have to either pay 150 points to start with 3 command points to pull it off on turn 1, or wait and build up.
Yeah, I mean, and the other thing I could do is I think there's probably I had plenty of other points after just doing those 4 units.
Right.
I think I had another 1,000 points, so I could probably fit a battalion in there at that point, and probably use another command point or something like that. So
Yeah, we're looking. Yeah, one of the really good battalions that helps you move across the table faster too.
yeah.
I don't remember. I don't think it's Gortite. It's one of the other ones that people use.
I don't know, honestly. I haven't actually looked at too many of the battalions yet. So, but yeah,
Okay,
that was
yours.
my combo that I thought was pretty cool.
Okay, we'll go to John next.
Sure. So my combo, unfortunately, with Deepkin, the only 2 with command abilities are Volturnus and the High King, and they both require you to be the general to use their command ability. So I don't have any command ability buffs, but my combo breaker would be I would put the Cloud of Midnight on one of my Soul Scryers, and that is you. You can't be targeted, or you can't be attacked. You can be targeted, but you can't be attacked.
Yeah.
And so you're gonna position one of your.
That's the one that you can't be shot at. You can't
Right.
be affected by spells, but you yourself can't fight.
Right.
Yeah.
But you can still be targeted. So you throw this on your Soul Scryer. You put him in a position where you've got that little hilltop of 3 bolt throwers from Stormcast, and all of your sharks come in right next to it, and you use the Cloud of Midnight, and you put your Soul Scryer in between the bolt throwers and your sharks, and now the bolt throwers have to target your Soul Scryer, because Deepkin's Forgotten Nightmare is you can only shoot at the target that's closest to you, but the Cloud of Midnight says that nope, you can't shoot at me, but you still have to target it, and so you get this the loop of they just can't shoot.
Yep.
So
And for clarification, they did FAQ that. So if anyone argued that, I can shoot at something else because it's not an eligible target, no, it blocks all shooting.
yep,
You just don't get your
You
shots.
get one 32 mil hero that says I'm closest to you. You cannot shoot anything else in my army because everything is behind me.
Yep.
Bye.
Yeah. So I know that's already been talked about online, but unfortunately, Deacon don't really have command point abuses, and the 3 generic command points aren't going to really combo break anything. So I figured as long as you're going to be getting an artifact, I'm going to take the Cloud of Midnight and I'm going to put it on the hero whose job it is, put everybody in the backfield, and then I don't care if they live or die anymore.
You should
So.
you should paint him up like really bright with like bright colors.
I thought you were going to go the opposite of that. Just paint them all black.
No.
But
Paint him really bright so that way he's like, hey, look at me, you can't shoot me.
Model White House.
Yeah.
Maybe paint him like a clown.
Technically, the Tidecasters are her she model.
Giant
Female
pink-
model.
No, that's just, isn't it the Soul Scryer that gets everything in the background? Or the
Yeah, Soulscryer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which is the guy with the lantern, right?
yes.
So
Yeah.
get one guy and rig up an LED on his helmet and then turn
No,
it on.
no. That's the Soul Render.
Oh, the Soul.
Soul Scryer is the guy that has the chime.
soul this,
Oh,
soul that,
yeah.
blood this, blood that.
All right.
Kevin's really the only one with
Yeah.
original names.
So anyway, so my combo, less exciting, but
Run forward, pop that, and
Yeah.
something
Don't
just
get shot at.
keep your sharks alive for next turn, hopefully, and stop those Stormcast bolt throwers from punching you in the face.
God,
Yeah.
everyone hates those bolt throwers
I
so
don't
much.
I don't hate them, but they are going to redefine how you build a Stormcast army. Like,
I don't know.
They are so
The
great.
wizards
hit
are
on
supposed
fives,
to redefine how the
so you almost have to have a Ordinator near them
Yeah.
to decently hit stuff. But
with the
So-
that's with the one that is within 8 inches though.
18.
8 no,
18.
that's the little one.
1824.
Is it 18? I thought it was way less than 18. Oh, okay.
1824.
I thought it was like you had to be right in front of the person to shoot them with the forward. attack.
Either way, you're going to need the Lord Ordinator because hitting on fives is terrible, and then one shot is the biggest.
one shot that explodes.
Yeah, it's one shot though that can still miss. Like
Yep.
it's always better to double up on shots.
Yeah.
I'm just saying you take a unit of 3 and you shoot 3.
Can you take
shots.
them in units?
Yeah,
Oh my.
I'm pretty sure you take them in
No.
up to a unit of 3.
no, I don't think so.
Is it now?
Don't you have the?
General.
No, I don't.
I'm pretty
Well,
sure they're
well,
artillery. The
Right.
Artillery.
Because you still have the artillery
one
keyword, so it
option.
doesn't matter. So even if you can't just put them down as one drop, it's not going to matter.
Yeah.
That's going to be the gut punch though. Is the new Stormcast book that goes on pre-reg next week is going to be a battalion of 2 Lord Ordinators and like 4 to 6 of those bolt throwers. It's going to be a one drop.
Well, at 2K you can only have 4 artillery. So
Oh, sure. Okay,
yeah.
so 0 to 4 artillery and 0 to
I
2
haven't
Lord Ordinators.
pointed out a list already with the linked points. Yeah,
Yep, and you
What are
just
talking
you
about?
drop those as one drop is going to be, and then it's going to be something like, and all of your ballistas get +1 to their cover save and can
Well,
reroll hit rolls.
You know they're going to have a battalion.
Oh, of course they are because they got to sell those boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay,
off topic. Sorry.
that's okay. So Kevin,
All right.
okay, hit
So-
us for this combo breaker.
You could see that I do have this all like it takes up 2 pages.
Okay.
So
okay.
So my combo breaker all revolves around the witch elves, and well, like I said, manipulating bravery. So this is what I wrote down and what I was kind of thinking. So the witch elves are going to have 4 attacks apiece when within 8 inches of a Daughters of Cain hero. I cast Shroud of Despair onto an enemy unit within 18 inches, and it subtracts 1 from their bravery. I cast Mind Razor onto that said Witch Elf unit. So what Mind Razor does is adds 1 to the rend of the weapon that they're using, which in this case is the Sacrificial Knives with 4 attacks. And if I have more bravery than said opponent's unit, I also gain a damage as well.
Additional damage.
Yep.
Okay.
I pray Catechism of Murder onto that unit as well. So on hit rolls of a 6, it inflicts 2 hits instead of 1. I pray Sacrament of Blood on that unit. So they treat blood rights as 1 higher. And the Cauldron has an avatar on it, so they also add 1 to their bravery. And because of the Zealous Ordinator with the Blood Rack Medusa, they're going to be at bravery 8, going up to 9 with the avatar.
Okay. And this is the full 2K list.
This is the full 2K list. Is all that. Marathi does nothing besides, Shroud of Despair and yeah.
Okay.
But, so, Shroud of Despair, by the way, is 1 bravery. It's cast on a 4-up, but if you cast it on an 8, it subtracts D3 bravery from that unit. But, so, to sum it up, right here, so turn 3, the unit will have 4 attacks, can run and charge because of the Hornblower.
Okay.
Hits on 3s, 6s deal 2 hits. Wounds on 4s, has a bravery of 9, so anything lower with all the minuses deals, their attacks are -1 rend and 2 damage. And with the blood rights table, they will reroll charge rolls of 1, run rolls of 1, reroll hit rolls of 1, and reroll wound rolls of 1. And because of being craft, on a 6, after they fight, they can immediately fight again. And what I would do to change this list to make it actually like super competitive is I'd take out the Blood Sisters, the 10 Blood Sisters. They're like 280 points. I'd throw in another 30-man unit of 30-woman unit of Witch Elves, and I'd take out the Canary Hunters or Heartrenders, and I'd put in another Blood Rack Medusa, and I'd make Marathi my general. So I'd use a command point, and her command ability is she picks 2 Daughters of Cain units and allows them to shoot as if it were in the shooting phase, or if they're within 3 inches of an enemy unit, pile in and fight as if they were in the fight phase, and they can also fight after that as if it was normal. So you'd fight with 1 unit, roll a 6, and if you get a 6, you fight again, and then in the fight phase, you'd fight again, roll a 6, and fight again. So pretty much making them a blender unit.
Yeah, for sure.
120 Witch Elves, really?
That's
90.
honestly how you should be playing Daughters, though.
Yeah.
I know.
You need to be dropping tons of bodies on the table because they're going to get
That's
picked up
so-
as quick as they are.
Yeah.
Money-wise, though, Kevin?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Whip
no,
out
that's
that
so
wallet.
much money.
That's like deep, Ken.
$60 for 10. It's
Oh,
tough.
Yeah.
so
50
tough.
for 10 is
Yeah.
a little worse, but yeah.
Yeah. But
Well-
that is my combo breaker.
That's
Yeah, that's pretty
definitely-
crazy.
Yeah, it is. And when
Nice
it
shot.
goes off, it will definitely hurt.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone have any comments?
Besides Kevin's
Extra
blender,
comments?
besides Kevin's blender being way better than mine.
Other than Jake, I don't get to pat you on the head because you literally did this 20 minutes before we started filming, but I'm impressed. Good job, Kevin.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you. That sounded like a fun, good combo, and it actually made. You were talking about it before the show started, and actually laying it all out for me, it makes a lot more sense.
Oh, thank you.
Sounds good. We'll have to test it out. Even
Yeah.
if you just proxy a bunch of Witch Elves before you.
Or I'd be a man and spend a bunch of money on
Like
Witch Elves.
$300 on Witch Elves.
Okay, well, the final topic is that seeing that the endless spells have been added to the Age of Sigmar app, and when you're watching this video, the book will be out. But this is going from the stuff in the app. Not including points. This is just picking an endless spell that you think would best buff the book that you've been talking about for this whole show. How would the spell buff your army or add to it in a way that would accomplish something that the army normally can't? And then at the end, we'll just discuss the spells that you guys have chosen and how we think they could be used in the other books. And for this, we'll start with Kevin.
Okay, perfect. So I picked the Emerald Life Swarm.
Okay.
And that is, I think, would be a great addition to this list because the Witch Elves only have a 6-up save. And if they're within, I think it's like 14 inches wholly within the Blood Cauldron, they have a 5-up save. So right away, you're going to lose tons of bodies. And what the Life Swarm allows you to do is return, well, it allows you to heal D3 wounds. And if there are no wounds on the unit, you can heal back to D3 wound characteristic. Yeah. So if you roll a 3, you can either heal a 3 wound model or 3 1 wound models. If you're playing within the realm of life, I think it's a D6.
That sounds right.
I just was looking at
Oh,
it.
okay.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think it has fly and moves 12 inches.
10.
So, yeah.
Yep.
10?
10.
Okay. So, yeah. So, it's fairly fast. And like I said, when you're losing a lot of bodies, it really helps to kind of buff that a little bit so you're not taking as much of a hit.
Is it predatory or GD?
No,
It
it's...
is predatory.
Oh,
Is
so
it?
both players get the pick.
Really?
So
I didn't think... Oh, it is Predator.
yeah, so
Wow.
both players are going to get to use that. So Kevin, you better be sure that
So
you're
Sure,
You're-
flies back
right.
towards you.
Yeah.
It'll be whoever takes second turn.
Yep.
we'll get to move it.
Mm-hmm. That's why you keep it right back behind.
Yeah,
Here,
and
guys.
then it's a 1-inch effect range though.
Yeah.
So
It's pretty much its
basically they can move it out of range of healing and stuff. But
Yeah.
10-inch move, flies, heals D6 if you're in the realm of life, which I think is going to actually be something we have to keep an eye on
Yeah.
because
Being in specific realms.
if you get to pick at a tournament,
Mhm.
that could be a pretty big difference for the Emerald Place for
And-
specifically.
We won't get into it too much, but well, first off, what's it cast on while you have it there?
An 8, I think.
Cast on a 6,
Does it?
so that's up
Okay.
within
Okay.
15.
And then what I was going to say was at the beginning, I really didn't like the idea of the realm rules being used in events because, randomly using realm rules at events because it could definitely buff lists. So I think it's like the realm of fire. If you shoot missile weapons over 12 inches, they get an additional -1 rend. So I was like, whoa, that would be crazy and would totally buff handgunner lists and
Yeah.
the Chaos
Crossbow,
Dwarves
yeah.
list. But I think if going into an event, they said, hey, this is the event we're running, 2K, here's all the info about it, here's the restrictions, by the way, it's in this realm, and then you build your list
Based
knowing
off of
that,
that, yeah.
every round is going to be in that realm. I think that would be really awesome.
Yeah.
And I think that I would love to see that.
I'm thinking events are going to have to pick which realm is for each round.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you changed up the realm each round, it would be pretty cool too.
Yeah.
It could change people's strategies, or if you're picking one realm for the tournament itself, it's fine too.
Mhm.
But I think the balance.
But I
would
think
be-
you'd have to know the realms that you're either realm or realms that you're playing in before the event.
yeah,
Yeah.
to help out.
Yeah, I think it should definitely be every turn should be in a different realm because then it would stop people from building lists to cater to a specific realm.
Yeah.
You kind of want to have it's the same way that you don't build your list to play against only Empire handgunner lists. You have to bring an all comers list so that you try to get as many favorable matchups as you can over your 5 games, and knowing that you're going to be potentially in 5 different realms, you want to build a list around 5 different realms. Sean's 100% right, though, that any tournament organizer really should put out, we will be in these realms. Even if it's not turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are in these specific realms, just these are the 5 realms that we will be playing this weekend.
Right.
That that is enough of a heads up that you can adjust accordingly.
Yep.
Mhm. Okay, so the Emerald Life Swarm, huh?
Yep.
Okay. We'll go to Jake next.
Okay, so my endless spell that I would take if I took a wizard, keyword because I hate wizards so much because I'm corn.
Okay.
So if I took a wizard in my army,
That
He has
was
an
it.
if on his paper with
I-
3 underscores
yes,
under it.
I made it a big point. Why am I going to answer this question? There's no wizards in corn, and they're like, just ally one in. I'm like, but that breaks it and everything. That breaks the fluff.
And I'll say something after you finish up.
Yeah,
Just
so
remind me.
so I chose this Soul Snare Shackles because once I get into combat with you, I want you to stay there. You ain't running away. You're gonna stay with me, and you're gonna fight me, and one of us is gonna die, and that's how it's gonna.
That one, right?
Yeah, on a
Yeah.
6.
On 6.
So the
I think you take D3 on a 2 through 5 too, don't you?
no on
No.
a 6 you suffer D3 mortal wounds.
At the start of the movement phase, roll a die for each unit within 6 inches of the Soul Snare Shackles. On a 3+, the movement characteristics of that unit
Is half.
On a
Yep.
6, they take D3 mortal wounds.
Yep.
Okay, yep.
If you're in the realm of
I shortly
Shaiish,
skimmed these.
Yeah, if you're in the realm of Shaiish, you get to set the shackles up differently. They have a
Further
9-inch
apart.
distance between each one instead of a 6-inch distance, and then it's only a 5 up to cast.
that covers such
It's
a big
such a
area.
big
Yeah, it does.
area. So it's
Ow.
yeah. It's really cool. I thought it was awesome to just be like, oh yeah, you're roll for that unit because now you're going to be stuck in combat and you can't run away.
Yeah, it
So-
slows them way down.
Yeah, if you're and it specifically says the move characteristic of the War Scroll unit that you're picking. So it's not just oh, you're stuck in combat with me and you want to retreat away. You have to also just you're having the whole movement of your unit, not just oh, I'm retreating away. That's not a move.
Right.
So I thought it was neat.
Cast on 5.
Yeah, it's literally only a 5, so it's just I'm gonna get it. If you want to dispel it, go ahead. But my wizard might have other things in store. I was thinking the Curseling, to be honest, stealing spells.
Because
that.
the way you get rid of endless spells is you forfeit a casting and then you have to beat its casting value, not what it was casted on, right?
I believe so.
Yes, you have to
Yeah, you
beat
gotta-
its casting value.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So
And a couple things I'll mention. It's interesting, if you guys read some of the core rules, I know we've all been busy, they clarify what kinds of moves are movements. I don't know if anyone read that. So like when you move in your movement phase, that's a normal move, but it also specifically outlines that there are abilities that let you move in the hero phase, and then in the charge phase, and those are not moves.
Yeah,
Moves.
I
They're separated out.
Yeah, I actually did see that today because the Wanderers group was talking about how you can now move Sisters of Avalorn in the hero phase using the Waste Watcher paths, and they don't count as moving, so they still get their additional shot.
Move after it.
Wow.
Awesome. And then the other thing I was going to mention is, and I might have it wrong, but people were having a discussion about Khorne, saying that you would want to bring a wizard because only wizards can unbind, I think is the terminology. Because normally you dispel a spell, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So Khorne, it's either unbind or dispel, and I don't right now remember which one is which. Khorne, Bloodthirsters, and Karanak, and then the Magros Fienddog, they can dispel, right?
I thought
The point that everyone's making is, unless you bring in,
dogs?
yeah,
the dogs like dispel.
but they dispel, they don't unbind.
I think that
Because there is a difference, is
Hang on.
what people were saying.
Do we know which Bloodthirster can unbind? Is it all of them?
No, he's talking about
While you guys check, I'll continue. The conversation was that if you're Khorne, you will want to always bring an allied wizard because only wizards can unbind.
No.
I think is what the terminology
Karanak
is.
specifically says that he can unbind a spell specifically as a wizard. So if he unbinds,
So then when you first for the purpose of predatory spells, you dispel. You don't unbind. So unbind is the current terminology of the rulebook. Let me double check.
of the
That's
rulebook?
what people are saying is that you will have to bring an allied wizard to unbind because the Khorne spells only dispel, and there's a difference between dispelling and unbinding.
Yeah, but all this stuff says unbind.
Right, so then the terminology must be dispel unless they just changed the app today, which is entirely possible with all the FAQs coming out.
Yeah.
So-
Wizards.
Core rules. Let me just get to magic.
I mean, Fleshhounds are
Attacking.
awesome. Like, adding one...
Yep. So if a spell is cast, the opposing player can choose one of their wizards, keyword bolded, that is within 30 inches of the caster to attempt to unbind the spell before the effects are applied. To unbind, you roll 2d6. As long as it beats the
D6.
roll used, then the spell is not successfully cast. Only one attempt at unbinding may be.
Yeah, so it's still unbind.
So only wizards can dispel. Khorne things can unbind, but they can't dispel, and dispel is what you do with predatory spells.
Oh,
And
so
endless
they can't.
spells is what people are talking about.
They
I'm
can't.
pretty sure that's then. So clarifying that you normally unbound predatory spells and the malign sorcery are dispelled, not unbinded.
I think that makes sense because if they kept it that way, because wizards themselves would have to like fight it. Like I think
They deal with it.
like the phrasing when they were talking about endless spells and stuff like that was that like you could either cast a spell because the wizard has to attempt to dispel it in their hero phase, right? When you are
it's
casting
instead of
casting a spell.
you can
right, which
can dispel the spell.
which means if the thing that is allowing you to unbind as if it was a wizard isn't actually a wizard, then dispelling makes no sense because they're not wizards and you aren't able to sacrifice a spell
For
to
Khorne?
to
Yes,
dispel.
that's the point.
Yeah.
Is that you would have to bring it.
I thought you were talking about something completely different, which was just talking about unbinding spells. I thought they changed the phrasing.
No. The difference is between dispelling and unbinding.
Right, which makes after listening to that,
This miniature, this miniature referring to dispel,
endless
endless spell, then persists throughout the game until it is dispelled. Wizards can choose to do this in place of casting a spell normally, meaning you'll have to weigh up the choice between disrupting your enemy's magic and using your own. So the argument is that Khorne does not unbind.
it's not-
Their stuff
they don't-
doesn't
It
Dispel.
work.
It shouldn't even be dispel and unbind. It's not the argument. So whoever was posting that online is wrong.
It's
you have
sacrificing
to
the spell.
forfeit a cast.
Yeah.
And neither of those characters can cast.
Yeah.
You can attempt to unbind like a wizard.
Yeah, no.
But-
oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they don't
They
even
have to
activate
forfeit
the
casting
forfeit
spell.
casting
They
spell,
they
yeah.
also only get to do that in your enemy hero phase.
Yeah.
So
You can't unbind. You have to unbind.
So then that's
Yes,
what the,
so-
the topic was.
Yeah.
yes, 100%. If you need to stop an endless spell, the only way to do that is to ally a wizard because they have to forfeit a spell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but if you were bringing an endless spell in a core army, anyways, you would have a wizard. Anyways.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
But for the purpose of moving forward, people are talking about with events and endless spells probably becoming a major thing, that corn armies would pretty much have to ally stuff. So anyway, end of that rant.
Yep.
Your spell
Was the soul
Shackles.
snare shackles?
Awesome.
We have to see what John brought for
Yep.
his
So
teaching,
moving
though.
over to John.
All right. So not only is my pick as my spell, but my prediction as the most popular and most commonly seen endless spell, and one that probably will be nerfed, is the Chromatic Cogs. Cast
Yep.
on a 7, and you get to add 2 inches to your movement characteristics of everybody on your army on the table, and add 2 inches to your charge on everybody on the table. Or you can slow time down and cast a second spell. So
So for those fast-moving armies that can charge after running,
right.
hashtag Deepkin turn 2.
or
daughters.
or beastmen,
Well, yeah.
or daughters, or iron jaws, or this spell is going to be everywhere. Is my prediction. That being said, I think in my specific army list, you're already getting +3 to your charge from the Soul Scryers, so now you're going to get a +5 to your charge range, which means that basically a 10-inch charge is reasonable.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
don't think Soul Scryers are wizards. They
Right,
typecast-
it's not a wizard, but you're coming on the table edge with the Soul Scryer. That's giving you the +3
in the
to
soul.
charge.
Oh,
Scryer,
gotcha.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah, Soul
the modified list would be you have to take a
Tidecaster.
Tidecaster to be able to put the chromatic cogs down. But if you're getting a total of +5 on charging a unit after coming out on the table edge and deploying 18 inches from a Soul Scryer, which
And
means
+2 to move.
which
too.
means,
And-
well, you don't get to move after you come on.
And if you take the
right.
Tidecaster and flip the
So-
table turn 2, you get to attack with all your sharks again.
Sure. Yeah. So I mean, like 8. So you're setting up 18, then you're getting +2 from the cogs, and then you're getting +3 from your Soul Scryer. So you effectively have a 23-inch free threat range before you roll the charge, which is hashtag Banana Republic.
Banana
And you
Republic.
re-roll the charge roll if you wound them with a shooting.
Yes, because
Because
you're bloodthirsty.
Bloodthirsty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
god,
That'd
I
be
thought there
pretty
was
crazy.
something like that.
Yeah. It's like, and that is a fringe haha case, but you drop cogs down and you have anything in the game that can run and charge, you're basically closing that gap. Is how that cog works. And I would not be surprised in the slightest if that entire segment just gets deleted from the cogs and it's just you can cast a second spell.
My 30-man unit with their Bloodstoker or guy.
I mean, to be fair, it's an endless spell, right? So it affects both sides.
Yep.
Right, right.
But if you're an alpha striking army, this is going to be in every single army.
Oh yeah.
And it's going to be the thing that if you only have one wizard, you need to wait and stop it. Because if it goes down, they're going to close the distance and immediately be in your face.
Yeah.
Anyone else want to talk about that? Because I'll touch upon something really quick, and then we'll wrap this up with the final.
Had you been answering questions, what would have your army pick been?
Yeah.
To review or just
To
spells
answer these
me?
questions.
Oh,
To answer these questions.
I don't know.
New book.
no, honestly,
Stormcast.
probably Bone Splitters, just because
Oh.
they're kind of unique, and you don't see them a lot other
Yeah.
than their
So-
shooting ruck.
With
But I've got something else better to touch upon that
Okay.
is going to loop us right back to one of our previous conversations a couple weeks ago about Pac-Man.
Okay.
Wait, what?
Oh. Pac-Man.
Yeah.
So-
I know it's
Now,
Oh wait, the spell
correct
Pac-Man?
me if I'm wrong. You can still cast multiple endless spells on your turn as long as they're different wizards, right?
Oh yeah.
No.
No?
It's
It's-
one endless spell per player.
Oh.
I mean, the named endless spell. You can only have one Gnashing Jaws per player.
Right, but in one turn you could have a couple wizards cast 2 endless spells.
As far as I'm aware.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the conversation online that I thought was absolutely hysterical, and it's going to tie right into our Pac-Man, is using 2 spells in particular, and this is what I would have gone over, is the Umbral Spell Portal, and I'm sure people who probably have seen this, the Umbral Spell Portal and Ravnik's Gnashing Jaws. So in this, Ravnik's Gnashing Jaws is Pac-Man, and the Umbral Spell Portal is, when you play Pac-Man and you go on one side and you come out the other? It's like that, but worse. So I'll read out the spell portal. So it casts on a 5, so it's pretty easy to do. It's set up wholly within 12 inches of the caster, and then you set up the second model wholly within 18 inches of the first. So people are saying you walk forward, you cast the spell, and you put the first one in front of your enemy's army, and you put the second one in the back, or left to right. And the whole ability is that if a wizard successfully casts a spell while they are within 1 inch of the spell portal model, the range and visibility of the spell can be measured from the other Umbral Spell Portal. If a predatory on the spell finishes a move within 6 inches of it, remove it from the battlefield and set it up again, is the terminology, anywhere within 6 inches of the other Umbral Spell Portal model from this endless spell. So, if we go to Ravnik's Gnashing Jaws, I don't have an install, I gotta download it. It casts on an 8. You set it up wholly within 6 inches of the caster. It can move 12 inches and it can fly. So when this model is set up, the players set it up can immediately make a move with it. So it is set up, it makes a move, and when it gets close to the Umbral Spell Portal, it will get sucked through it. And after this model has moved, each unit that has any other models that pass across, and each other unit that is within 1 inch of it at the end of its move suffers D3 mortal wounds. In addition, subtract 1 from the bravery characteristic of each unit that each unit that has any models that pass across until the end of the battlefield. So because when it is set up, it makes a move, when it ends within, was it 6 inches or 1 inch of the spell portal?
1 inch. Or 6 inches.
Within 6 inches, it goes up, it moves, it ends it, it gets set up again on the other spell portal, makes its move back to the other side, and it keeps ping-ponging back and forth between the spell portals.
So, my sticking a branch in your bike wheel on this one is that if a predatory spell ends its move within 6 inches,
Finishes a move.
Finishes a move. Okay.
Yep.
Finishes a move. It gets transported over.
And set it up again.
With the new movement stuff getting set up over there, you're not moving, so it's not going to bite anybody. It's going to bite people through your spell portal, then get dropped over there, then you have to move it back through, and during that move back through, it'll bite somebody on that side. So it's going to start by biting your people. It's going to ping pong back, but start on yours. Because you end your movement before you get into the gate. That counts as you're ending your movement. It bites somebody. It gets set up over here, comes back over here, and it bites on the way out. Is how the new movement works. Because it's not ending a move when you set it up outside of the spell portal.
Setting up isn't a
It's now going to move because it was set up
Yeah.
through the spell portal, and on its way out, it's going to bite somebody.
No, because you would move 12 inches from the first one to within 6 inches of the second one. You're not going through them, you're moving between point A and point B. What the spell's letting you do is reset it up, which procs the predatory spell of moving between the inside of the spells.
So you can keep
spell portals.
Right, but it's going to but setting it up doesn't count as a move in the new move. What counts as a move segment?
Correct.
So you're going to end your movement in your spell portal, and it's going to bite people. Then it's going to go over there, take its move, and bite people. So what I'm saying is it's going to start by biting you. So you have to be diligent because you're ending your movement in this spell portal.
Oh, you mean with the wizard that cast
Right,
it?
you're ending your movement
at that point.
Right, but you're ending your movement in your spell portal, so just something to be aware of. And if you're playing against somebody, they end their movement there, and then they set it up, and it gets moved.
No, because the wizard could be 12 inches away from that first spell portal.
Right.
The stipulation is that you have to be 1 inch to cast a spell through it. This is, you're 12 inches back, it makes its initial move up,
and it ends there. So anything around the spell portal is going to be eaten.
Which wouldn't
Right.
be anything.
But that's what I'm saying. Is it's something you should be aware of if you're
Right, that
if you're
so-
putting it in your lines and you're
As it
slinging it
is
through.
a setup, yes, you would have to be
Right,
careful
because
where the end one on your
Resetting
side
it up is not the end of its move. Its end of its move is at the spell portal. Then it gets to redeploy in the other spell portal and move and bite people over there. But
Right.
yes, you could ping pong it indefinitely.
Yep.
I
Yeah,
suppose.
and it
So
wouldn't
that's
at that point. It wouldn't matter because you would, if that's the case, at that point it wouldn't matter if your wizard is within 1 inch of the spell portal because you would be ping ponging until you kill whatever you wanted to kill.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, like once it goes off, it's going to eat the other unit on the other side of the spell portal.
Right, because every
Yeah.
time it goes over
Because
the unit, it's
you just-
D3
you
mortal
keep-
wounds.
You keep doing it until the unit's dead, and
Yeah.
then you stop. So yeah,
Yep.
yep.
So I thought that was interesting. People were talking about it online.
That would be something that's probably you do.
Totally
Is
totally Pac-Man.
Can I just say something that
moving a predatory spell through an endless portal doesn't allow you to move it again. It's
And
really-
there totally could be something I'm missing about where they talked about movement and abilities that no one realized on the discussion online.
because it's
But-
the pre-release hype of look
Exactly.
at all these broken things you can do, and you actually sit down and read the book, and you're like, oh, never mind.
so
But I just thought that was funny after we talked about Pac-Man flying through the enemy lines.
yeah.
but if you were going to go that far already, why wouldn't you take it a step further and just take the pendulum instead?
Then it's not Pac-Man. It's a
I know, but I'm just saying if you wanted to make it better,
What you're saying is you've got options.
I'm gonna make it better because the pendulum does D6 wounds.
Yeah, but the pendulum also goes in a straight line.
That's why you put it on
Taking
one side of
3
your
was
opponent's. You put the 2 portals at each side of your opponent's line
I mean,
because
this stuff to be 18 inches away.
I mean, yeah, but
Well, is it because every time the pendulum sets up, you
you
draw
move it,
straight
you
lines? and
draw a
it does
straight
damage?
line again, and you go through the portal again.
Yeah, but the
Oh
thing
my
is, it
God.
doesn't move.
It moves 8 inches, so it wouldn't be able to maybe it wouldn't be able to reach the
You'd
other
have to,
portal.
but it's within 18. So you pick a unit, you set up 2 things because it's 8 plus 6 is what 22,
Yeah.
right? Or,
So yeah, you would have to be
12.
12.
12.
That's what I
Six is
meant.
12,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So you
Yeah.
It's
essentially
14.
need to
14,
be able
that's what I
to-
said.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. 14. So you set it up so that your 2 spell portals are 14 inches away. Then you set up your scythe. It moves to the other spell portal, gets sucked up through it,
And
and
then-
put it down, and it just keeps going
Yep.
like this.
Well, yeah,
And judo chop something. Yeah.
because the scythe gets removed as soon as it goes off the table, because it goes in one line indefinitely. As soon as it goes off the table, it gets removed from the game, and you can't cast it again.
Oh, it's just a straight. There's not a fixed.
Your opponent. That's
Oh,
why I'm
okay.
saying it's
Okay.
strictly better because your opponent can't change the way the line goes
But
because
it's
they're
only
not.
once then.
What do you, no, because you're going to go put it through the spell portal.
Well, does the pendulum say that when it's set up is when it does the swing to damage?
When it's set up, it can immediately move. So, and then it is a predatory spell that flies and moves 8 inches. But the unstoppable mechanism is whenever you set up the Aether Void pendulum, you must place it lengthways in the direction you wish to move it, and whenever it moves in a straight line in that direction.
Gotcha.
So
So,
you're-
so that would
so-
also work.
Yeah,
Yeah,
an
so-
8-inch move in one direction that your opponent can't change.
Correct.
That deals D6 mortal wounds to anything within an inch of it over that line.
Yep.
Okay, so I thought that was
Yeah, after
we can
talking
work
about
with
ping
some,
pong and stuff.
I like Pac-Man better.
I like pong.
Ding, ding, ding.
Oh god, it's crazy.
And those were the couple crazy conversations I saw
Mm-hmm.
online in the last few days.
So do you have
So-
a
Yep.
fourth
Yeah. So as usual, we have the outlandish
prediction?
that only the person who wrote the answers knows, and mine's I guess not as good as some of the ones John's been coming up with, but I thought it was pretty good. So, outlandish prediction. Now that we've seen line portents or in the story develop in the Age of Sigmar universe and realms kind of developing, what major event do you think could happen in the mortal realms, and how would it change the story progression of Age of Sigmar moving forward? So this can be any outlandish, crazy concept of the story that you think would be implemented.
I got one.
Okay, we'll start with Jake.
Sigmar getting off of his golden throne and actually doing something for once.
Okay, so I'm
But-
going to piggyback off of yours. but-
But Sigmar did do stuff during the Age of Chaos and the Age of Myth. He was on the ground slogging it.
Right.
And then Nagash betrayed him, and he's like, all right, now I'm going to go stay inside my house. Like,
But now he needs
I
to
relate
get-
to that. I get that.
Now he
but-
needs to get off of his little slump and stop being a little depressed boy and be like, oh, look at all my bros. They're all like fighting for me.
Storm
And
bros.
doing all this awesome stuff.
Getting
You want to know what?
psychologically messed up.
That gets me super excited. I bet you I can inspire them and get their souls back. Let's go. Nagash, me and you, 1-on-1.
So outlandish story arc prediction is that Sigmar's going to come down and smash some face and rally the Stormcast.
The souls, get all their
Okay.
souls back.
I wanted to piggyback.
Okay,
on
well,
this.
we're going to go over to John.
Oh, no, back if he's got something.
Okay. You're
I
okay. You're
was
outlandish
going to
story
say
prediction.
Nagash wrecks Sigmar.
Good
Yeah,
joke.
Like Hulk, Loki.
Yeah, like well, it's with magic, but yeah, it's the
okay,
same
magical hands.
thing. Yeah,
Okay,
But I mean,
okay.
in that
like
situation, Nagash
trashes.
is
And
Loki.
so if that's your outlandish prediction, what would happen because of that?
oh,
What would the
it
fallout be?
would totally upset. Like, I think that would wreck morale for the for.
It would wreck morale for order in general.
Sigmar!
It would be order.
Yes.
No, order in general.
We'd have to
Yeah.
rebrand it to Age of
Yeah.
the Gash.
First of all, yeah, order would just be like totally wrecked. Like, oh wow, that just happened.
All of our progress just
Yeah.
got ruined. Now all these free cities have no one to defend them because the Stormcast are all depressed and their souls can't
yeah,
be
the
reinforced
total
anymore.
power
But
shift
then-
would be amazing.
They could have some free guild heroes pop up and revamp the free guild.
They're
line.
all mortals anyways. They can't.
We've been
they can
talking.
die.
We want to see like steam robot horses and stuff because apparently there's no more horses in the mortal realms because all the releases so far there have not been any horses.
And evidently, the designer inside is why would we have horses in the mortal realms when we
We
can
have
have
dragons.
mole dogs?
Mole dogs,
Yeah, but I mean,
corn dogs.
you know, and we're gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. Realistically, it's because they can't trademark a horse. We know what's up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, but
Let's be real.
Right,
Realistic.
exactly. Well, we'll pretend like it's because there's no horses in the mortal realms. Sure, but yes, a mechanical,
Steam.
all
or-
steampunk cavalry army like Bretonians 2.0, like RoboCop Bretonians would
or
be
free guild.
awesome.
Yeah. Definitely.
Oh.
And John, your outlandish prediction, and then we'll wrap it up. Outlandish story prediction.
It's probably not even that outlandish. I would not be surprised if this actually happens, but Slaanesh is going to get rebirthed into the world because Marathi and Teclis and Tyrion messed up and they pushed her a little bit too close to an actual realm. She's in a pocket. And they pushed her a little bit too close to an actual realm, and so all the Seekers of Slaanesh know where she is now, and they're like, all right, let's go. We're going to go bust her out. It out, him out, whatever.
Yep.
I was just gonna say.
And so Slaanesh is going to get rebirthed into the world right as Sigmar and Nagash are getting ready to fight mano a mano. That's going to tie back to Sean's outlandish prediction where he says that we're going to get a Sigmar model. It's going to come back to Jake's outlandish prediction where Sigmar is going to get off his butt and actually go fighting. We're going to see Sigmar and Nagash going at it in the fluff. And right in the middle of that fight, they might even be beating on each other way too hard. And Slaanesh is going to wake up. She's going to be pissed. A whole bunch of Slaanesh new demons are going to show up.
Incursion.
And Nagash and Sigmar are going to have to buddy shield wall it to
Just
stop it.
throw it out.
Because Nagash is going to realize that Slaanesh is going to eat all of my souls, so I'm not going to get any more power because Slaanesh is the great devourer and it's going to happen. So I might as well get some help from Sigmar over here, and then once Slaanesh is dealt with, then I can go back to killing Sigmar.
Or maybe I, Nagash realized that he screwed up the first time and should just apologize to Sigmar and then,
The
Nagash
bro-
doesn't
bro-
apologize.
yeah, bro hug it out
Bro, hug it out.
instead of being, a douchebag.
I don't want to spoil any of the like. I think the more important stories are done. They just did the last one because they're like, this is the final story.
I think it was called Penultimate Story, which is second to last.
Okay, yep.
But-
So I don't want to spoil anything. If you guys haven't read the last two more important stories, you should go read them because they're really awesome. And I totally hope that happens with Slaanesh because my girlfriend Chelsea is collecting a Slaanesh army. So all new models, and God, the Keeper's secrets are just so god awful.
They're straight
hideous.
terrible. The fiends
Yeah.
are bad.
I don't know. I kind of like the fiends. The weird
They
reverse
could be-
horse
compared to now,
insect looking
though,
thing. Yeah.
Compare what they could do with them now. I mean, they're going to be like a $55 one model kit, but they'll look so much better.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
yeah, so I would say Slaanesh shows up, ruins the day, and it's very much to like what happened in the Blind Portents. I guess I don't know. Spoiler warning.
Spoilers.
Yes.
If you haven't read it,
It
go read
was,
it and come back.
was Sigmar Sigmar was lead. Oh no, it was a Celestin Prime was leading an army to Nagazar, which is the center of the realm
Negazar
of
or
death.
something.
Yeah, Negazar or whatever. And
Self
so, yeah, who's the other man? Manfred is leading his army out of the city to go just be like, puny mortals, we're gonna smash your face. And then Chaos shows up on either flanks and just slams into Order.
Like
and just-
everybody.
Yep, and just wrecking it. But because it's the center of Death Realm, as soon as all of the free guilds start dying, they're getting resurrected as skeletons and fighting the Khorne. And while this is happening, the Fungaloid Cave Shaman showed up with all of his orc bros.
He opens up a
And-
portal behind the
and
city.
and smashes into the city. But right when they get to the wall, they see all of the Khorne and undead guys fighting, and so they turn around and go fight for them. So it's going to be a three-way fight. And then the Celestin Prime gets like the last of his 4 Stormcast. He's like, "All right, we're going into the city, boys," and that's where the story ends.
Yep.
So
It was awesome.
Yep.
Super
It
epic.
makes me super sad that we can't just know who the Celestin Prime is. It needs to be Carl Franz so bad.
They referred to him as one of the Celestin Primes. So I don't know if that's a new thing.
If there's more than one Celestin Prime, there can't be because there's only one Galmaraz.
Maybe
Right.
the other ones don't carry Galmaraz.
Well, they also lost Galmaraz in the story.
Oh, well, yeah.
When again? They
Yeah.
lost it a second time.
Yes.
What?
I mean, that's
I'm
what happens
almost
when you
positive it's
die
the second time.
and your
No,
gear
there's
doesn't get
no
sucked up
way.
with you.
Because the
Some dude thored it.
Archaon's fate, whatever they're
The
called,
summoner.
the god summoners are using it to break free from Archaon's power. They have just a glowing object in their citadel that they don't know what it is.
That's from
And
book.
it's-
That's from book 2.
That's happening in Malign
book
Portents
3.
right now.
What?
Surprise.
I guess I missed that
Yeah.
one.
So yeah, I mean, unless they're like it's happening at the same time
Because
as book 3. maybe
That
it's at a
happens.
time.
That sounds exactly like a rehash of like one of the books where like the one Tzeentch wizard is controlling the Citadel, and him and Karos Fateweaver have this mystical object that's so bright and so holy that they can't even look at it, or else it scars them.
Okay, so maybe it is like happening in tandem with the same thing because all the god summoners are trying to rebel against Archaon. They don't like being enslaved to him
I don't know.
for whatever
That's weird.
reason.
That's weird.
Nobody likes being a slave.
That's so dumb,
I was
though.
gonna say that.
How did they? How did they even
the ever
lose
chosen?
it? How did they
So,
even?
so maybe
lose
I'm
it?
wrong about that. I don't know. But-
So, guys, sorry this ran a little bit longer, but I figured kind of a different show where we talk about some fluff and some more interesting kind of fun lists versus the tournament stuff and heavier topics we talked about in the last couple of weeks. Let us know what you guys think. I'll try and host a couple more shows and
Yeah.
hopefully get better at it. We will keep putting out videos, so keep an eye out. Make sure you comment, subscribe, and hopefully you'll get picked to receive a book or
Yeah.
the
or
a
the
painted
spells, yeah.
Yep, it'd be pretty exciting.
So, Kevin, unless anyone else has anything else to say,
Well, I mean, if you guys want more lore stuff, you know, to 2 Plus Tough does a lot of lore on YouTube.
Yep.
So go check him
It's an
out.
awesome video.
He was actually a real big help for me. A couple weeks ago, I watched a lot of the Corn stuff, the Corn Week that he did, and I really enjoyed it. That's one of the
Yeah,
reasons.
He's been cranking out videos
Yeah.
for 2.0's release.
It's
every day is like at least 2 videos I've seen.
yeah,
So,
he's doing a great job. I really
Check
enjoy
him
all
out,
the
guys.
stuff that he's doing right now. So
I
check
watched
him out
the
for more lore.
Moon Clan video. It was spot on.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
Sounds good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Take us away, Kevin.
Thank you guys for joining us in the 10th realm, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.